hmm Just reading Luke 9. hmm Now, in verse 40, and I besought thy disciples to cast him out. Yes, I besought thy disciples to cast him out, and they could not. And Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, yeah, how long shall I be with you and suffer you? Bring thy son hither. Oh, and as he was yet a coming, the devil threw him down and tear him. And Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit and healed the child and delivered him again to his father. And they were all amazed at the mighty power of God. But while they wondered, everyone at all things, yes, which Jesus did, he said unto his disciples, let these sayings sink down into your ears. For the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hands of men. Now, sink and sank. Two. Mm-mm. For every Nazi out there that happens to not be a human being, yes, you're come to find out, family. Yeah, I want this to sink down into your ears. There was the availability of putting Douglas Taylor's cochlear implants, yes, on the actual hearing of every telephone. Now, when I go through the actual phone numbers, yes, of every banking customer of every bank of every nation, yeah, I just wanted to know if I called them, yes, could anyone hear our conversation without my knowledge? Now, last night I was able to call a little credit card company, and it was really a good experience. Yes, it was. Just helping a friend of mine. And I thought that if I was on the phone and I was suing you, yeah, you'd be obligated to listen. Now, Ma Bell, that old ooch. What words don't we say in court, Brent? I found it interesting that when my wife had my mouth on Guam, she called herself a foul name. Yes, it's a slang word for what is known as the labial lips and vaginal opening of a woman. Now it starts with a C and it ends with a T, and the United Nations does know. Now I know there's no word that a woman could say right now. Well, my husband called me a slang word for what is known as the vaginal opening of a woman. Now, I had not said any profanity or any other slang words for approximately 4 years before that time. But I thought somebody had taken my mouth because they didn't want to hear me praying in tongues. For those in the banking families that think, well, he's going to deny Christ to be able to do business with us, my thought was that you're going to have to listen to what I have to say. Right? See, let these sayings sink down into your ears, Brent Basden. Oh, there are certain words that can be said in a court of law that makes it look like a man is very abusive because somebody had my mouth. Now, I thought my wife, yes, while being timed, yes, might have put something in her body, yes, that was responsive to to what's known as atomic time. Yeah, the biochip data, Yeah, but it could have been that she also did understand about the Illuminatus family use of what's known as a lizard in the rectum. Now, let's say you had that electricity today. And I was wanting to talk to Marilyn, yes, about the difficulties I had in my previous marriage because I wanted to sue my wife in the United Nations. Now, get me the phone numbers of all the banking customers of every bank of the world. I'd like to call each one of them and say, well, I want this to sink down into your ears. Mhm, mhm. The control of your individual assets will not be accomplished by those that do know Ma Bell. And for the International Bowel Movement, all IBM, looking at the actual telecommunications infrastructure of every bank of every nation, yeah. Does the IBM and Ma Bell have they been screwing the world? Why don't you get me the actual phone numbers of every banking customer in every nation? Yes. And then I just wanted that supercomputer of the IBM. Oh, And then I wanted that Ma Bell. See, a long time ago, there's a word that I used to describe the human, the man genitals. Yes, we would call it a penis. But if I was a real, it starts with a P, it ends with a K, and Rick is in the middle.